Hey, what's up? Back again, but this time with another movie review. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 movie review. Um, I saw it Saturday. My review was supposed to went up yesterday, but I kind of didn't feel like posting it yesterday, so because I wanted to sit with it a little bit more before I went in depth with my review. This is by far like without a doubt, this is by far the best out of the Guardians trilogy. I know most people will say the first one. Some people will say this one. That's I love the first one. I like the second one too. But out of the trilogy, I would say the second one is the weakest. Um, it would be this the third one, the first one, the holiday special, then the second one. Um, yeah, this shit was amazing, man. Never have I like this was one of my most this was one of my top five most anticipated movies of the year, and this did not disappoint. It did not disappoint at all. I loved everything about this movie from beginning, middle, and end. The movie like definitely the movie is kind of long. I mean 2 hours and 30 minutes. But honestly, I didn't care. Not once did I get up to go to the bathroom. To get nothing to drink. Food. I did not get up out my seat because I wanted. Like my eyes were solely glued to the screen. I was like, nope, I don't want to miss nothing. Um, yeah, man, this shit was very heartfelt. Um, Rocket was the main star of the movie because this was us seeing his story. Um, you know, seeing his origin, how he came to be, and and just the mess, all the messed up stuff. He was all the torture and torment he was put through, him and his friends before the Guardians. It was very very disturbing, very sad. Very emotional. Like it definitely. That's one thing James Gunn is good at, man. He's definitely gonna make you. He's definitely gonna pull like the heartstrings, make you feel sympathy for these characters, man. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. It was like two different scenes in the movie, man. That made me made my eyes get a little watery. I admit that. It was just sad, man. You know, we pick up. It takes place. Um, the movie takes place a few months after the holiday special. Um, so they on the planet nowhere, and they own it now. And Peter, he's full blown alcoholic. Kind of like in a depressed type funk. After losing his Gamora, he's still thinking about Gamora, his Gamora. So then we jump to Rocket. Just randomly getting attacked by Adam Warlock, um, played by Will Poulter. If I would probably say like a nitpick, I'd probably say that was like one of my nitpick because I'm a huge Adam Warlock fan. And I hate that they kind of made him like he was strong as shit. Like power level wise, he was kind of OP power level wise. and I know he doesn't play a big part in the movie, but but he does serve his purpose for what for what he was given. But I just hate how they. I guess my only complaint is I just hate how they portrayed him as a bumbling idiot. But they do explain it in the movie as to why he's like mentally, why he has the mentality of a child, of a 5 year old, pretty much. Um, you know, he was pretty much let out of his. He was pretty much released from his cocoon, which we saw at the end of Guardians 2. He was released from his cocoon, early before he could fully mature, pretty much. So, that's pretty much like how we saw Vision, and when he first debuted in Age of Ultron. He was kind of naive. I was just born yesterday, pretty much. So that's pretty much how Adam Warlock was portrayed. But like I said, man, I just don't, you know, other than that little nitpick. Other than that, he was he was cold. I fucked with him. I mean, he was fucking the Guardians up. I ain't gonna lie. He was fucking them up. But Rocky gets severely injured, and and Peter and the other Guardians are trying to revive him, but they are unable to, due to Rocket having a failsafe device attached to his heart, and if they trigger it, he can end up killing him. So they end up having to go to a planet of the origin where he was experimented on by the higher evolutionary. Um, I cannot pronounce the actor's name. He was in Peacemaker, season one, as Merm. Um, but like I said, I cannot pronounce the actor's name who played the High Evolutionary, and I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name. Um, but man, he was fucking menacing, man. Like this dude was, um, he was menacing, man. Like he was like Thanos level type menacing. I ain't saying power level wise. I'm just saying like as far as like intimidation and stuff. Like this dude gave off a lot of creepy vibes. Especially like especially like the dark scenes where like he was talking from the shadows. It was it kind of came off somewhat like a horror film in a sense. Like I know in my theater, it was a lot of small kids. Some of them was kind of getting scared, which is understandable. But yeah, man, he was great, man. He was great. He was he experimented on Rocket. Um, he later grew envy of Rocket because Rocket was more intelligent. Started to show more intelligence and more outsmarted him as opposed to his other experiments who couldn't really think for themselves. So he was just throughout the whole movie he was just obsessed with finding Rocket and wanting to experiment on his brain, try to figure out the key of his intelligence behind his intelligence. So yeah, man. Then we get to meet the new Gamora from that we met in Endgame, the alternate timeline version from 2014. Um, I loved her, man. Look, I I love me some Zoe Saldana. I love Zoe Saldana as an actress. Um, she's very beautiful, very talented. I've been a fan of her since since Drumline. From Drumline up until now, man. Like I followed this woman's career. For the longest, man. She, you know, I just love her as Gamora. Like, yeah, granted, she isn't like fully, comic book wise, like as far as Gamora, she doesn't capture all of the elements of Gamora, but she does. She did pretty good in the role, playing two different versions of the same character. So Peter is trying to reunite, trying to rekindle that spark from compared to his Gamora, but he felt or he had to come to realize, man, like, hey, I'm not your Gamora, blah blah blah. I don't know you guys. You know, this, that, and the third, man. You need to need to move on. So like, um, I ain't gonna recap the entire movie, but I just wanted to point out certain parts. Um, yeah, man, this shit was great. This shit was great, man. Like pretty much the whole message of the movie, as opposed to all James Gunn's trilogy. Just about family, man. Family learning valuable lessons. You know, like which in this case, learning when to move on. Move on from certain things. And it really hit home. So like that message really hit home. You know, the ending was great. Everybody. The Guardians, the original Guardians, split up. Then we get a new team at the end of the movie. Um, it was great, man. The only other nitpick, I probably say the second other nitpick I have is, um, I really wish Marvel stops doing this. I wish they keep doing it, and really wish they stop. They keep killing off all of their villains, like in every movie. Every movie, they always kill off the main villain. It's like man, especially when we get good ones like high evolutionary. I feel like there's much more they could have did with his character outside, beyond this movie. Um, yeah, man, I just wish they stopped killing off they main villains, like especially when they only get one movie appearance. Oh well, at the end of the movie we just gonna kill them off. So yeah, man. But other than that, I give it a 9 out of 10, man. This shit was great. It was better than Quantumania, even though I liked Quantumania. It was better than Fury of the Gods. So like those are the three comic book movies that we've gotten so far this year. Um, yeah, Guardians 3 was better than all of them, better than both of them. But if you haven't seen the movie, I suggest you go see it. I'm gonna go see it 2 more times. Then I'm gonna definitely pre-order it when pre-order the Blu-ray or 4K Blu-ray copy. Then of course watch it a couple times on Disney Plus. But until then, peace, one love.